Testing, testing. Hiya, it's Terry from Smooth's Workshop here. Right, remember that G600 camera? This one that I bought, which is great for magnifying. It's basically designed as a mobile phone repair microscope, and I did a review on it. Oh look, you can even see my ceiling light. I need to improve the lighting in here somewhat, but I'm just trying something new. Right, so mine's wasn't working, and it was all about the menu buttons and stuff weren't doing what they were supposed to. So I contacted GearBest, and they basically said, well, you've had it more than 45 days. Yes, I have, but I haven't used it. And it wasn't dead on arrival. No, it wasn't dead on arrival. It has some functions, but it isn't doing what it's supposed to be doing. So they have offered me a monetary refund, which is about half of what it costs, because it says, well, if you were to send it back to us, the time with the postage and all that, it's a low value item that, and we don't have any in stock, so we can't even give you a discounted new one. Will you take half the value and you know, put it towards other things? Which I said yes, because there's lots of little electronic kits that I want to get. But I'm curious, why is it not working? It must be something stupid. Something is not connecting these buttons to the microscope. So I'm going to do a little teardown. So, right, let's get a screwdriver. Now, I have actually had a quick peek in this beforehand, and I did lose one of the screws on the floor. I will find it. But 3 is enough. So there are 3 little Phillips self-tapping screws going into the plastic. So I'll put that in there. Take this one out. Let's do a little teardown and see what's inside this. And I'm just learning electronics, but I do have a electromechanical background, so if it's something obvious, I may be able to fix it. That's what I'm hoping anyway. If not, then at least have it doing what it was doing before. So that's 3 of the 4 screws. So what happens now? Alright, let's just see. Let's pull the light across a bit. So there we go. Oh, that simply pulls apart. So caution, electrostatic sensitive devices do not open or handle except at a static free workstation. Well, my mat here is ESD safe. Now, what I am noticing is this is the focus knob. Okay, will I bring the camera in a little bit closer? Why not? Right, bear with me. We're going to come in a little bit closer. Right, so looking at this, we have a ribbon cable for the LCD screen, which works perfectly fine. Connected with this connector. Can I part this connector without causing any damage? Oh my god, that just falls apart. Okay, that's disconnected. Now, the bits that weren't working, apart from the power button, are all on this tiny little ribbon cable here. And how do I unclip that? Do I just press this in and this ribbon comes out? Could they have simply assembled this back to front or something silly? Let's see if we can get this to, does it pop that way? Does it press down? Just trying to get this ribbon out. It's not immediately obvious. Other than, I know there's a ribbon cable in there. Does it? Oh, right, that'll be that then. A little plastic retention thing, which just clips in on a series of tiny little electrical contacts. So I'm just going to clip that back in there just now so I don't lose it, because I build models as well, and any of you guys that build models and stuff will know there is a thing that lives, whether you have got carpet or whatever, a thing called a carpet monster, which consumes little things like this plastic, what I will call a doofray. There's actually, looks as if there's test points on there. Can I now figure out how that went? Right. Let's see if I can get this to go back in the hole which it came out of. Actually, it looks like it's that way around. I will edit this if it goes on for too long. Okay, so that clips back in there. So there we have the, hopefully that was on camera. I do notice some test points for ground, VCC, keypad, power, and voltage from the battery. So this is obviously test points for them. This is the lovely fine ribbon cable, which seemed to fall apart quite easily here, so hopefully it'll go back together easily. LCD screen had no problem with. This was the bit I had problems with, was this little switch bit. Will I pull the switch bit out and see if there's anything possibly... Oh look, the light thing is on. I managed to switch it on and can't switch it off. That's interesting. Let's turn the LEDs off. It looks as if it's powered up there. A little blue LED on the unit. If it goes flat, it goes flat. Right, so the switch part was a bit that didn't work. So let's take the three little screws out that hold this little PCB in place. So there's one. It's actually really neat looking inside. Apart from the big yellow sticker saying caution electrostatic. Now obviously they've told me there's no warranty on this anymore. They've given me a partial refund. I can't see me breaking anything just by unscrewing it, so let's... And what have we got? Okay, nothing spectacular in the back there. We have power, menu. There appears to be, let's have a little look at it. Resistors and capacitors between some of the switches, obviously to identify what's what. All the switches appear to be working. I can check them with my multimeter later. But obviously they're connecting through to this little ribbon switch. I'm actually wondering if it's just a bad ribbon cable connection. It's possible because it covers everything apart from the power button. So I'm just having a look at the ribbon cable itself. That looks okay. There's nothing on the other side. Right, so where do I go from here? We have a big sticker. Right, let's see if we can remove said sticker without damaging anything. Oh, I've got a corner up. That's good. Let's peel this big... Oh, it's actually paper based. Okay. So I need to get through that bit of it. Can I then release the rest of it? So there is paper on the back of it. Get away, you little... The ribbon cable is making a bid for freedom. Apologies. Right, let's try again. Right. Only because I want to try and put it back in the way it was. The paper bit doesn't make it there. Right, so we've got a nice, quite a fat lithium cell in there actually. Yeah, let's not bother about this. Yeah, let's just take it off. Throw it away. Very sticky. The rest of the label. Right, where's my craft knife? Let's just get rid of this label bit. Watching that I don't pierce the battery. A fully charged lithium ion cell. We don't want to be releasing lots of electrons all at once, causing fire. Right, okay. So, stuffed into the back of this, we have quite a nice fat lithium ion cell. Can't see anything else reading on it. Is there anything securing it in? Other than friction? Or most likely in these kind of things it'll be a sticky pad. Now noting it is still live because there's a blue light on it. Right, certainly tilting about a little bit. Can I get the battery to give up its secrets? I'll just pull the camera out a little bit so you can see my struggles. I think there's a big foam. There is a big foam sticky pad in there, so I'm just trying to relieve it from its stickiness. So bear with me while I gently play about with the craft knife in here to free the lithium battery from its sticky pad. Probably not the best way of doing it, but you know. My name is Smoo, and what do you do? I do aim to have this working afterwards because I did pay for it myself. It wasn't a freebie. So I am actually taking care in the disassembly because I want to use it again because I've spent like between the stand and this nearly £50. So this lithium battery is mounted on a huge sticky pad. Can we get it to come free now? We can. Okay, so that's just basically mounted on a huge sticky pad. Issue we've got is it's soldered directly to the board. Obviously, on the top of here we have some I can't focus in on it because obviously the microscope is disconnected. We have some charge protection. So there's a couple of chips in that on there. A 6-pin one and a large 8-pin one, but they are directly soldered onto the board. Okay. So what holds the board in? Bearing in mind it still appears to be live. Now, I'm just trying to see what this is on the back of this. Right, okay, so there's a screw in this corner. Actually, it helps if you use the correct screwdriver. It appears I must have hit the power button as I was disassembling it. So there's a screw. There. Are there any more? Now this is obviously the ribbon cable. This is the one going to the front screen. This is a ribbon cable going down to the actual camera itself. I'm assuming it's just a similar pull it out affair. Eek. It's all live. I'm just watching for sparks and flames. Right, that's it out. And it goes that way. So just remember, Terry, that one goes in that way. I'll put it up there. So that is the ribbon cable for the camera part. And any more screws? There's better be another screw somewhere, surely. Alright, so that's a pot. Do I really want to disconnect this one as well? Go for it. Okay, so another big... Right, so this is the main ribbon cable that connects the LCD screen. Doesn't appear to be any damage in it. Okay. And this is the one for the troublesome buttons. Should I disconnect it from here? Might as well, because it's probably part of the problem. And now I've lost a bit. I've cut it in my jeans, I think. I'm hoping. Back in a second. I'll just pause this. Oh, welcome back. I've just spent about half an hour on the floor hunting for this little part, which is a ribbon cable retaining piece. So where have we got to? Since last you looked. Let's come in here. Right, so I can't remember, did I show you disconnecting the camera cable and obviously the power cable as well for the camera? And there was another little screw in here. Obviously I've taken all the rest out the way, so we shall remove the circuit board along with the lithium cell, and let's have a little look and see what we've got here. Now on the right here is the really awkward to get to. This is for adjusting the brightness of the LEDs. It is a one-turn surface mount potentiometer. It's not the best thing, but anyway. So I'm just going to bring this back a little bit because I have got my optivisor on. So what have we got here? We have got the USB charge port. Okay. Hopefully you can make that out. And there's the lithium battery going directly onto it. We have a protection diode, quite a beefy one. That must be a good couple amp one. And a 2 ohm limiting resistor designed to kind of blow a bit like a fuse if the current was too high. We've also got some sort of transistor there on the input. This is for the micro SD card. Now it shows a position for a microphone, which is unpopulated. This is a ribbon cable. If I remember correctly, it goes off to the CMOS camera. This is a ribbon cable that connector that goes off to the switches, which aren't working. And this is the ribbon cable connector that goes off to the LCD screen. Now, there's not much on here, really. If we look at it, now, I'll use chip aficionados, as Dave at EV Blog would say. Maybe my camera will pick up the numbers so you can see them rather than me looking through my see if I can catch it in the light. Well, that is upside down, that one, isn't it? So you can pick up what sort of chipset's in it. Right, hopefully you can see that one. Okay, so this is a main processor for the whole thing. A little SO8 package, unpopulated, with some support things there. Also, it looks like a pad for speaker. Interesting. Now, this side of it, I suspect, is charging side, because we've got a little 100 nanohenry or microhenry inductor and an 8-pin. Can we get the number off of it? Let's just try to catch the light the right way. An 8-pin chip. I can see the numbers on it with my Optivisor, but unfortunately my camera's not quite picking it up. That's obviously pin 1 with indent in it. And then there's another little 6-pin chip. I think this is all to do with the charging side, because it all goes down. These are test points. It all goes down to the charging side. So it's a 1-chip jobby. On the other side, all we have is some more support components. We have, that's a 5-pin chip. That looks a bit like a MOSFET or something like that. There's 4 capacitors on it and another diode. Quite a lot of unpopulated stuff. And the little reset switch that you get from the back, that's what switched it all off. So there's not a lot to it, and looking at it, everything appears to be in its place. Hence me thinking it's a ribbon cable. Right, what else have we got in this? Might as well. I've seen a lot of questions about people saying, is it on the optical focus, or what have we got inside here? Well, this is what works the focus. It's just a wee spring-loaded catch. So, oh, masking taped in. Interesting. So there's a ribbon cable and the power connection. Let's see, as we've got it so far apart, why don't we have a look and see what the camera sensor is like? So let's get the screws out. There's 4. There's 1 in each corner, so I might as well. Do my, it's actually my first teardown on this. It's all mounted on a plastic substrate, a big square. Let's see if I can get that out of there. Come to daddy. Alright, so there's another one. Another one in this corner. Just showing you there's not. Ooh, there's. Oh, that slides out. That makes life a little bit easier. It shows you there's not actually a lot to these things when you get down to the bog basics on them. Saves me not knowing exactly how the circuit board works, but yeah, you can kind of tell what's what. So there's 4 wee screws there. So now what? So this bit lifts up. The whole assembly lifts out, and there is a tiny, tiny little camera sensor. So people are asking, there's a little lens in there. Is it optical focus, or is it just you're basically moving the sensor in and out? I don't think it's an optical focus. It's, yeah, there is a fixed lens in the bottom, and you're basically moving the tiny, tiny little CMOS sensor up and down. So I'm not going to fiddle about with that too much, because all that side of it was working. Let's see if I can get all to kind of screw back together again, because that's still, yeah, that all still works. So I'll kind of screw all this back together again. I'm thinking, or I'm hoping, that all that's wrong with this little beastie is, because I can't see any bad solder joints, things that weren't soldered or anything like that. The only thing I can think of is possibly a poorly placed ribbon cable between the switches, because as if you've watched the first video, you'll notice that I had a power on and off worked, but nothing else did. And I'm just wondering, is it just as simple as a badly aligned ribbon cable? Because these ribbon cables, I know when I replace the keyboard on my laptop, some of these little ones are a bit of a pain in the backside. So yeah, the red and black wire with a little white plug on is just for LED control, and the ribbon cable is from the HD 3.4 megapixel, absolutely tiny CMOS sensor. So let's see if this will slide back in again before I tighten it all up. It does. And get this back in. So what I'm basically just going to do just now, I'll come back on camera in a little minute or two, is I'm going to stick, because I can't see anything physically wrong with, you know, any of the components, everything looks soldered properly, and stuff like that. I'm going to mount the circuit board back in here and get ready for the reapplication of the ribbon cables, paying particular attention to this thin ribbon cable which appears to work on the switches. And if that doesn't work, then I can always take my multimeter and check the switches out, because basically there's going to be a, from what I can see on here, you've got your ground in VCC, so that's your ground and your positive. Then we've got power and voltage battery, so that's the battery voltage, and a keypad, which will be a varying series of different resistances depending on which button is pressed, that will relay onto the main chip when the resistance is between X and Y. It's the mode button, or the up or the down button. And the only thing connecting that to the chip is this little cable. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pins on there and 5 pins on there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 buttons. Okay. So which is making me think that I misaligned. Fingers crossed. That's all I can try. So I'm going to now go with, and hopefully try not to lose any of these parts, because you don't need to have me showing you how to suck eggs. But yeah, we're going to insert this back in here. You will comply. Get the wee USB all lined up. There are 2 screws that hold this in, and they're all little self-tappers. God, the wind's howling outside tonight. So one goes in there to hold the board in. Like so. And then am I German? No. And then there's another one It goes up in the top corner. Bit fiddly. So that circuit board's not much bigger than, actually it's a lot bigger than what you get in a mobile phone. So that's the circuit board back in. This is the power connector for the LEDs, which are basically connected to this pot. So yeah, it's, as I said, it's kind of all on or all off. It's only a 1-turn pot. I don't know what the resistance is on it. I suppose I could have measured it, but yeah. So that's what controls the light to the LEDs. This is your focus, and all it's doing is pulling the CMOS sensor away and towards the lens. So use camera aficionados will know it's not really a focus. The other thing I was going to mention, that there is a quartz crystal on there of, let me just check, it's 32.768 kilohertz, and that is because it's got a clock function on it. That's obviously to keep the clock timing correct. So I've done that bit. I'm going to carefully insert all the ribbon cables back in. Do that off camera, and I'm going to see if it's just a cable connection, and can I get it to behave. So I'll be back in a little minute or two, and we'll see how we get on. See you in a bit. Right, okay, it's all back together. Power it up. Hey, still works. I've got a light on below, and we can still focus in on what we're working on. Still no menu, still no mode, still no left or right or okay. So I can still use it. It will have its function. I'm just learning the electronics. Obviously, I hope you've enjoyed the little look inside this G600 camera. There's not a lot to them. I haven't figured out what the problem is and why my menu mode and all that buttons isn't working. I don't have the knowledge or experience to look any further into it. Is it something within the chips inside? Could be. Don't think it's a ribbon cable connection, because I've tried it a couple of times now. Could it be a bad solder joint on the little where the ribbon cable goes onto the PCB? Possibly. Did I check it with a multimeter and that? No, I didn't. But I mean, right, it's working. They're giving me half my money back. And obviously I don't expect these all to be like this, but yeah, I tried all the normal stuff. Is anything falling off? Is anything not got proper solder joints? Etc, etc. And could I find the fault with it? No, but I tried, and it gave you a little look inside. So I hope you enjoyed that. Terry from Smooth's Workshop. As always, enjoy your hobby, look after yourself, and speak to you later. Bye.